Okay, so in order to use the Desmos test app on your iPads, we need to make sure that you know how to lock them into the actual app so they can't get off into any of your other apps or online, which would be a violation of our testing rules and all that. So in order to set guided access, this is what's going to lock them into the app. You're going to go to the settings on the iPad, and over on the left, you're going to find where it says General. You're going to click on General, and then you may have to move your scroll up and down. Find Accessibility. Once you find Accessibility, scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see something called Guided Access. So you're going to click on Guided Access, and you're going to toggle this switch on. When you do that, you need to go into the passcode settings. This is where you're going to actually put in a code. You need to make sure that your department and somebody in admin knows what the code is you'll be using to set iPads in guided access, because without that code, you run the potential of being stuck and losing functionality. So you could use something like your campus code, maybe a good option, something the kids don't know. So I'm going to set a code, and my recommendation would be to make the code the same on all of those devices. So it's now set in guided access. Like, I have the ability to turn that on. The next step is we're going to go and find your Desmos test app, which should be on your iPads. So the student iPad should have this. It's blue. You're going to open that, and before you give this to a student, you're going to set it in guided access for test day. So this is what it looks like. In order to turn on guided access, you're going to triple click the home button on the iPad. So 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and it says guided access started. So what this does is I can now come and work within this app. But if I hit the home screen and try to go anywhere else, it's going to tell me guided access is enabled. You have to triple click it and enter a code to turn it off. So I'm going to let Jessica mention just a little bit about when you are in the test app, how they are utilizing this as a calculator.
So to utilize the calculator piece of it, you can take and use this white bar here to type in an expression or something that you might want to solve. At the bottom of your screen, you'll notice that there's a keyboard. You can click open this keyboard and you can use it just like a calculator. So I could take 4 times 5 and it would give me the answer of 20 there. I could then hit enter and it will open a new line if I want to. I can also use this feature to then graph. If I say y equals x, it's going to show up on my graph on the side over here. I can do inequalities or any other feature that you might need your student to be able to do, like you could do on a graphing calculator, just in this Desmos testing app.
One thing to point out too, they will see up at the top something that says start test or end test. You don't need to worry about that or use that button for anything because we have them locked in guided access. So once the students are finished and they are finished testing, you can clear out anything that was in the app itself. And in order to get this iPad back out of the guided access, you're going to, again, triple click the home button, 1, 2, 3, and then it asks for that passcode that you set. So you just have to enter that, and you now get the option to either end guided access or resume guided access and lock them back into that particular app. So I'm going to say end. Guided access is still available on that iPad. So my recommendation would be, if these are going back into the hands of students, you want to go back in settings and go remove the guided access. You'll have to put in the code to be able to remove it, because if a student then accidentally goes and turns guided access on in something, you potentially have, things messed up and not working correctly. So go back in and turn off guided access again when you're not worried about having them locked in for testing.